Hello, people of the internet, it's Amanda, and today I'm excited to talk about Arashi's Netflix documentary, Arashi's Diary Voyage, that just landed on Netflix. This year is quite big, I guess, for Arashi fans out there, mainly because Johnny's Entertainment, or I think as I know it back then, or now known as Johnny's Associates, is pretty much known for not having their idols and talents have social media. I mean, I remember back then when I started becoming a fan, early 2000s, they really quite like have a very different dynamic when it comes to their idols as compared to like different agencies. And now that everything is basically digital on social media and stuff like that, it felt a little bit like constricting, especially for fans since they have a lot of like idol groups coming and going, that they're restricted from having socials, and even other Japanese agencies have their artists like do whatever they want on socials, but Johnny's Associates is pretty much very strict about that. So when Johnny Kitagawa passed away, like their founder passed away early this year, and there's just a change in management and all of those things, it really came as a surprise when Arashi, they're probably their biggest idol group ever, and even in Japan, just one of the biggest idol groups out there outside of the agency, announced that they're going to launch their socials. It was crazy. Like, I remember here in the Philippines, they have quite a big fan base here, and even like tabloids, which I don't know like why, but even tabloids here in the Philippines announced that they're launching their YouTube channel. And it was just intense because I remember it showing up on my recommendation feed one day, and I figured, is this like a fan account or something? Is this official? And then a lot of people found out that it was official. That's how parched people are for JE agency idol content, I guess. And I would know that for a fact because of the escalation of like K-pop groups and stuff. And I'm a fan of King and Prince, which is the last group that Johnny Kinagawa himself debuted, and I think is now being sort of like monitored and managed by Senpai Matsumoto Jun. And so because of that, like it's really hard to churn out content or get content outside of Japan if because of all like the restrictions of the agency itself. And so Arashi was really like a big step forward, especially for foreign fans. With all of those things said, I'm gonna move on to actually talk about the documentary. Now, I didn't know it was going to be a limited series. I thought that it was gonna be like a long ass movie type of documentary, but apparently when I tuned into it just earlier today, um it was going to be released per episode, and I watched episode 1, and I was quite surprised because I didn't know that the reason why they're having the 520 anniversary, which is their 20th year, was that they're actually going on a hiatus next year. I mean, it's more proper to say like next year, as in 2021, because as I'm filming this, we're still in 2019. But anyways, I feel like 2020 is actually the year where they're going to make it really, really big for their fans, because after this, they're going on a break. Apparently, the leader, Satoshi Ohno, was the one who wanted to really just step back a bit. And so the rest of the members decided that if they're not going to do it together, they might as well just take a break, all of them, which is pretty good, I guess. But I really found it as a surprise that that's the main theme of like the first episode of this documentary. It's quite like, it's just quite short, a 22-minute episode, I guess. And one of the things that it really kicked off on is just bringing us back to just how many songs and how many albums and how many record-breaking things in terms of music Arashi has contributed to the Japanese music industry, as well as basically their global fan base, I guess. And I remember reading this one interview of them, like I think years ago, where they attributed their success to basically the success of Hanayori Dango as well. I think that was the starting point where they really got a lot of people have their eyes on them, and I guess that's also the same reason why they launched King and Prince in line with Hananochi Hare with Hiranosho as a center, similar to the formula as to how Matsumoto Jun being the center really paved the way for how and what Arashi is now. Things that I absolutely loved is that they highlighted each member's role in producing their shows. Like, it's not just an external choreographer or whoever. It's really there's the leader, Satoshi Ohno, and then there's Aiba, who's in line with the raps and all that, and then June is basically into the creatives and the stage production, and Nino and I guess like all of them, they really like it couldn't be Arashi if it's not like the five of them, which I think is a really good thing, and I think that's a reason why they lasted this long as well. There was also this one thing in the episode that they highlighted where they said that um they couldn't like it wouldn't be the same, or they promised themselves that they wouldn't be one of those groups where if one member steps back, then they're just continue doing what they're doing, because Arashi is them and they are Arashi. It's not one member less or something like that, and I absolutely love that, mainly because one of my favorite J-pop groups, similar in this within the same agency, if I may highlight, is Kat-tun. Now, kat-tun, their name derives from each member's last name. However, if you're a fan of kat-tun as well, then you would know that it's been long since they really are complete. Like, now they only have 3 members. It's insane. Like, the first one who left was Akanishi Jin, and basically just there was just a massive like fallout, and there wasn't really actual camaraderie there. Whereas, and then News was also the same thing. Like, when Yamashita Tomohisa really like kicked off his career and stuff like that, and so he did his own solo thing, and it's just like the feel of them isn't exactly the same with like Arashi being Arashi, and so that's the reason of Arashi's success, I guess, and longevity. Now, one thing that I would want to highlight is that the episode started off with the discography of the group. Like, it really played like clips from their songs since day one up to now, like Turning Up, which is a real bopper, by the way. And then it ended with just them focusing on just talking about this experience, how it felt like when they talked about going into this break. There were like banging on tables and just a feeling of impossibility as to like how are they gonna do this, are they really going to break up for good, or is this just like a step back or something like that. And there's really this sense of like, even if they're not within the same room, at least that's how it was filmed. It was the individual members thoughts on this hiatus. It was sort of refreshing in a way because their thoughts are very cohesive as to how they felt about this, and at the same time, I absolutely love the fact that when Sakurai Sho was talking about like how it would affect their fans and why they decided to make 2020 sort of like a big year for their group before going on this break, is because they're thinking of their fans. And like, I loved how he phrased it, the way that how much has that fan put into thinking about that makeup, that outfit, that what was that fan thinking as she was seated there in the audience. And I absolutely just loved how he phrased that, mainly because obviously, as much as they would want to take a break themselves and how their fans would love for them to take a break, um there's still going to be this sense of like, oh, you're just starting out now, reaching out into your worldwide audience with social media and everything, and then suddenly you're going on a break. So like, it just felt so bittersweet in a way. Hewin Love So Sweet, which is one of their like top charting songs. So there, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm the biggest Arashi fan, because obviously I'm more of like a casual fan who listens to their music, who listens to their songs attributed to like certain dramas of them. Like, it's kind of like weird to just have that they're just starting off now and then they're going on a break apparently, and it's such a big year. They just sang during the enthronement of the new emperor, and it's just mind-blowing, and I'm super excited to see what else do they have for the rest of this documentary. But I would say that if you're an Arashi fan, like a massive Arashi fan or even a casual fan, the first episode of this Netflix documentary is really something that's really, I don't know, like it gave me mixed feelings because the first part was very nostalgic with all of the songs just playing there, showing us clips from their past concerts. And then in the end, there was no background music at all. It was just them talking about the experience. Even the questions, there's just a bit of like a solemnity to it. It's just like a black background with text of the questions, like what are their plans when they go on break or whatever. And it gives you that sense of just intimacy, I guess, as a fan of them just answering these questions that like what would happen when you take this break and what's in store for us as fans. And I don't know, like so far so good. I feel like it's it's gonna be like, if you're a massive fan, the next episodes would probably be like a look into the rehearsals, what goes on into the tour and stuff like that. And it's gonna be a very, very exciting experience, I guess. But yeah, so far, episode one is sort of like a bittersweet moment, definitely, because they're talking about like taking a break, how it took a toll on them emotionally, and how it probably takes a toll on like fans to know that, oh my god, this is an amazing year, and then apparently we just have like a year to go through this before they go on break. So yeah, well deserved break, but it's also like heartbreaking. With that said, I don't know, I just felt like making a video about this, reacting, and yeah, there's that. I'm super excited to see the next episodes. I don't know if I'm gonna make more videos just reacting and talking about it, but so far, like, I just want to push my thoughts out there because I just saw it earlier and just have these many things going on. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you again soon in a new video. Bye, and happy new year.